You are listening to Thrival Nutrition Podcast, episode 72. Welcome to the Thrival Nutrition Podcast with me as your host, Lahana Vigliano. We talk all things holistic living, real food nutrition, fitness, herbs, essential oils, and so much more. I'm here to make your holistic lifestyle simple, easy, and fun for you and your family. I am beyond thrilled that you are here. So let's go over and hop over to today's episode. Hi, you guys. Happy Tuesday. What we're going to be talking today on this solo pod, which is just me and you hanging out, is natural diapers. Okay, I see this a lot on any like parenting, mommy Facebook group. You betcha. I always see it. And it always gets brought up. And there's just so many things out there like diapers. And it's kind of like food. You never really know, like, what should I be looking for? Like, oh, these sound good. It says like no chlorine. Like, I don't know. It's just like, what should you look for? And I actually never looked too into this previously before. I honestly was one of those moms that kind of just went with what the packaging said. It's just kind of recently that I actually looked and like looked up like, okay, what are the studies saying about this? Like, okay, what is in diapers? Because I really did see moms like question it, like, okay, maybe I should have questioned it. I did choose a better one, but definitely not the best one. So if I knew more about it at the time, because my daughter, she still wears diapers. She's 3, but she's potty trained for peeing. She's still having problems like potty training with pooping, and I still put one on at night, but she really doesn't wet through it. It's just kind of like a safety precaution, which is good. Yay. But pooping, my son was like that too. So it took a while get the pooping on the potty down. But so I will always have some still in hand, and I will get good ones now. Not the best though, just because it's really not needed because it's on her for like 0.2 seconds. It doesn't take for her long to poop. But this is just a really good topic, being maybe a new mom and you're just like not really sure of what diapers to buy for your baby. I mean, there's just so much out there you should like be worrying about more. I mean, especially a new baby in the world, like, I don't know, diapers is kind of the last thing on your mind, I know, but it's definitely a topic that obviously moms want to know about. So I've been there of wanting every single thing for a new baby, all the baby gadgets. But I found that like once you obsess over so many baby things, it's just so complicated and it takes up space. Seriously. So it's just, I don't know. I think about it and it's like, oh, more stuff to pack in the diaper bag. Like, oh, gotta bring a toy, even though they were like newborn and my son never even played with it. I don't know. I think it's like a new mom thing. And then by the second kid, you're like, yeah, no. So that's how I was. I just got a little crazy with my first, but with my second baby, I really just learned like, seriously, just focus on the essentials. Literally food, hopefully, breast milk. But if you need formula too, I wrote about that on the blog. But diapers, clothes, food. I mean, it's seriously that simple. Like, I didn't even say crib because I found that co-sleeping works the best for my family. And co-sleeping is really awesome in creating that safe space for your baby. And I don't like to argue with other people about how co-sleeping is dangerous because it's really not. We've been doing it for years and years, honestly centuries. Do you really think like a caveman put their baby in like the other side of the cave in its own little cave rock room? No, it's just kind of human nature of doing it. So I just felt like that was best for my baby. And even with my first, like, I got the crib and stuff, but actually like my son slept with me till his sister was born, and then she's still sleeping with us. So she kind of doesn't even have a room. It's like guest room / her room. So I just really wanted to cover this though, because you're probably thinking with diapers, like, okay, so I got food, check, got clothes, check. Okay, diapers. We're covering that today. So the thing is with diapers is that it's on your baby 24/7. The diaper is constantly in contact with their skin, and our skin is very absorbent. So it matters, what we put on it or what we put next to it. And that's why it's also, you'll hear me talk about like lotions and shampoos and like just body stuff. Our skin's absorbent. It's just like any other part of our body. One of the most common practices in making diapers is the bleaching process, which is why you'll actually see white diapers. The bleaching process leaves behind dioxins. Now, with dioxins, it's not really about it absorbing into the skin, which I'll talk to you about from like wearing the diaper, but what it puts out into our environment. So dioxins are highly toxic chemical compounds that cause hormonal problems, immune system issues, and can cause cancer. So in a study, they looked at, 4 different types of diapers, and they really looked at the amount of dioxins that were in the diaper. And it showed that 5 types of dioxins were in the diaper, but it was actually very low concentration of it. So literally the amount from wearing the diaper to absorbing into the skin showed less than like 3% in a day. But like I said, it's not really that problem with this chemical. It's about that the diaper making process makes this, and the compounds are still being produced. So it's getting into our air and our food and our water. And this is actually where most of the dioxin consumption happens. So when we buy less diapers that are bleached throughout this process, there will just be more demand for good diapers, right? That don't use these practices, and it doesn't introduce the dioxins into our environment. So sometimes it's not about, oh, well, it's on our skin and skin absorbed. That it wasn't the case for dioxins, actually. It's more of like our environment. You have to think of our environment because our environment is our home. It's where our children's going to grow up. It's where our great-great-grandchildren are going to grow up. So we have to take care of it. Fragrances can also be used in diapers, which are just known to be endocrine disruptors. And that term is so widely used that it can actually still include phthalates, which I talk in a previous blog, but those have been studied to negatively affect the reproductive system of boys and increasing the risk of asthma. And an older study actually showed that disposable diapers, just the diapers itself, emitted chemicals that were toxic to respiratory tracts in mice. And, some of these chemicals were, I cannot pronounce, xylene and ethyl benzene. You guys know me. I can't pronounce words. This is why I'm such a better writer than I am a speaker. So those are just some of the studies that I found, some of the chemicals and the process of making those diapers. I actually bought diapers that were brown once, and I posted a picture of my son in them, and it's so funny because they literally thought he was sitting in like a dirty diaper because it was brown and it wasn't like the normal white diaper. And I'm like, no, these are just like, natural diapers. And it was just the funniest. People were like, oh, I didn't think like you would have, like you would leave your son in a dirty diaper. And I'm like, no. So I feel like just, our culture, we're used to seeing the white, clean effect of the diaper, but those brown ones can be just as good and work just as well. So some of the best natural diaper choices is obviously cloth. I'm really not going to talk about that today, but obviously cloth is a really great way to, have less trash and just reuse the cloth. And obviously if you use a good laundry detergent and a good cloth, that's just the cleanest way you can get your baby's bum anyway. But some of the other companies that I found were Bamboo Nature, Andy Pandy. Andy Pandy. I actually looked at my list and I'm like, wait, what? Andy Pandy diapers and Nature Baby Care. And so Bamboo Nature was dermatology tested, Asthma and Allergy Association approved, Forest Stewardship Council label, eco-friendly, and they use raw renewable resources for the ingredients. And I've heard that it works just as good as Pampers. So that's one of them. The Andy Pandy was no phthalates, uses bamboo, which is also very eco-friendly, hypoallergenic, no bleaching, biodegradable, and really great reviews. And the Nature Baby Care is unbleached, hypoallergenic, no fragrance, Asthma and Allergy Foundation approved, made from renewable resources, and sustainably harvest. So you might have listened to those 3 and was like, I've never heard of them before, and you do purchase them on Amazon and stuff, but who doesn't have an Amazon Prime? If you don't have an Amazon Prime, you're not living. I'm serious. It's really easy just to order. Even not sure, but they even have the option. I don't know if it's for everyone, but where you can subscribe and save, and you can get just renewed once a month or however long you do that. So some of the popular ones that you might be like, well, what about Honest, or about 7th Generation, or what about Baby Organics? Those are the ones, you see in Target and stuff. So I'll start with 7th Generation. And 7th Generation is a very popular brand. And in their FAQs, though, they said 7th Generation diapers are not biodegradable, nor can they be made, in a compost. Many of the materials used are synthetic and do not biodegrade. So I don't like that they don't biodegrade. So they're not as environment friendly as the three that I mentioned, and that most of the materials used are synthetic. They're not perfect. I would still choose 7th generation over Huggies and Pampers, of course, but it really shows that like with 7th generation, it totally looks all natural on the package, but it really shows that you just can't fall for like the packaging label of the diaper, because it obviously looks eco-friendly, but if you go to the FAQs on the website, it's really not as eco-friendly as it looks. So again, same with food, just you kind of gotta be a detective. You do, or I can be a detective for you. That's why I'm here, right? Honest diapers, they are unbleached, which is good, so they're not producing the dioxins. They're derived from many plant-based ingredients, but they did have one ingredient I wasn't sure, polypropylene, and it was really unclear if it was made from like a petrochemical like petroleum, or if it was like from a renewable resource. So I emailed them and asked them for more details, and they never got back to me. So it kind of says something about their customer service. I've heard Honest Diapers though are really, really good with customer service usually, but they just never got back to me. So the next one is Baby Ganix. Oh, and just Honest Diapers. So it's like another one. It's not perfect, but it is a better choice than the basic ones. Baby Ganix is another popular brand that you'll find in stores. This is what they said in their FAQs, is that their super absorbent core blend is made with renewable plant-based material that reduces the amount of sap gel needed. And that sap gel is the gel inside the diaper that absorbs the liquid. It's really controversial if it's safe or not safe. Right now it's said to be like non-toxic. They said their diapers are totally chlorine-free, untreated fluff pulp. And they also said that they use a super soft, non-woven material for the top sheet, back sheet, stretchy side wings, and cuff for your baby's total comfort. It's really great that they are using renewable plant-based material to minimize that gel. But the non-woven material is a pretty basic description. It kind of could mean anything. I also emailed them and didn't hear back from them. So we use Baby Ganix quite a bit before I even knew anything. It's definitely, I feel like, one of the more price-friendly ones that are quote-unquote natural that are in the stores. But like I said, these aren't perfect. If you're really looking for a complete non-toxic, environmental friendly, like if I knew what I knew now, I would totally have used like Bamboo Nature or Andy Pandy or the Nature Baby Care. But so, I mean, I guess in an emergency, grabbing one of the ones at the store is Honest or, Baby Ganix or something like that, I would do. But again, I would like be prepared. Your baby is going to need diapers. So stock up on them, subscribe to them so you can just get them delivered. So it's one less thing to think about. Just doing something like that is the best way you're going to be able to choose a really good disposable diaper. And you're going to be happy with it because it's going to be good for the environment and good for, your baby's skin and things like that. So again, it's kind of one of those things that don't freak out if you're not able to, or if you have accidentally in the past 6 months, you've used a really bad one and you're just now learning about this. I've been there. We've all been there. We've kind of learned. I've definitely learned as I go with parenting. And now that my babies are out of diapers, I really can't do anything about it. But you know what I mean? You just, you know better, you do better. I remember hearing that in a mommy Facebook group that I was in, or that I still am in, and it kind of always stuck with me. So I hope that helped. I know there's a lot of like scientific, chemical words, or it might have just seemed like word jumble. I have a blog written all about that if you want to reread it. I'll put that in the show notes and you can check that out. But in the meantime, just love your babies and feed them, and, just do your best and try your best to create that really good environment and a healthy baby, because every little thing, even if it doesn't seem big, you're ultimately working towards that good goal of creating healthy children, which is what we want, so we can create healthy generations after us And, they're going to be world changers, right? So I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure that you're in my Facebook group if you are not there already. That's also in the show notes. You can link up and connect with us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. We've been loving vlogging, and I put the podcast on there too and other videos that I make. And the kind of behind the scenes. If you really want behind the scenes, like every day, kind of like what I'm doing, Instagram stories is totally where I'm at. I don't really do Snapchat anymore because of Instagram stories. I just had more followers there on Instagram that were already eager to, see me and get to know me. And I don't know, it's hard to get other people to another platform. So I'm just trying to stick with the basics, where a lot of people are YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So find me there. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see you next week. The contents of this podcast are for educational purposes only. This information is not intended to replace a one-on-one relationship with a qualified healthcare professional, and it is not intended for medical advice. This is the sharing of knowledge and information from education, research, and experience. I am not a registered dietitian or physician. I encourage you to make your own healthcare decisions based on your research and partnership with a healthcare professional. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week.